Doing something different today, guys. Taking a ferry ride over to Governor's Island, and Governor's Island is right over there. So before we leave, I just want to pan around the harbor and show you where we are. Right over there is the Staten Island ferry that we did. I went on Staten Island ferry just recently. The orange boat over there. Heading to the left, there's Governor's Island, and continue left, there's the Brooklyn waterfront. The helicopter just leaving the helipad. It's on pier 16. Is it 16? We're on pier 11, where we are right now. And over there is the Brooklyn waterfront continuing. There's a helipad and the Brooklyn Bridge right over there. So we'll be heading right up to the Lower Manhattan skyline, and that's where we go. Alright, so welcome to Governor's Island. For the longest while, Governor's Island was a naval facility, a naval stronghold. You had owned by the naval service. Governor's Island was sold back to New York City by I think it was for $1. It was sold by President Clinton back to New York City. That happened in the I'll give you the details in just a little while. I'll give you the details on that in just a little while. But we're here now at Governor's Island. So welcome to Governor's Island. Alright, let's take a walk around and see what's here on the island. Alright. Okay, welcome to Governor's Island. And as long as you're in Lower Manhattan, you'll run into the name Lenape a lot. Okay, the Lenape Indians occupied huge portions of Lower Manhattan, Staten Island, and so forth. All right, and just a little history right there. Native Americans of the Manhattan region, the Lenape, referred to what is now known as Governor's Island as Paganock Nut Island, after its plentiful hickory, oak, and chestnut trees. So, try here you can read up a bit about it. All right, things to do here. Take a picture right there. Here's the QR code. You can scan this. That will give you some information what we can do to help support Governor's Island. All right, support and preserve. All right, and there's a map of the island. Shows you where you can go, what you can do, and so forth. Now keep in mind, this is a favorite site for concerts, picnics, gatherings, and so forth. So check it out. Alright, so over there is the art center, and I'm gonna check that when I come back. So let's take a walk. We're at Governor's Island. So we have from the entrance here, you can go to Fort J or you can go to Castle Williams, which are points here on the island. And before we do that, let's take a look back. There's the berth or the pier where you can get the ferry, and right over there is the Lower Manhattan skyline. Right in the distance, you can see the World Financial, the World Freedom Tower, and the World Trade Center complex right over there. Notable by the steeple standing in the middle, standing at the top of the building. All right, so let's walk. It's a line for Governor's Island Ferry going back to Manhattan. The Art Center right here. Open Friday to Sunday. The Art Center at Governor's Island. Right. So the lawns over here. People are sitting out enjoying some sun. Alright, this is my first time on Governor's Island. So we're gonna walk around and see what the island is all about. The Governor's Island is managed by the National Park Service. Ever since it was ceded to New York City, or sold to New York City. From that time it's been managed. I think it's from that time. I can go back and re-verify, but it's managed by the National Park Service. Alright, let's see what's in this place, what's in this area. I want to be along the waterfront so I can walk along the waterfront. Alright, so Castle Williams commenced in 1807, completed in 1811. Okay, it took all of 4 years. Alright, so we'll do it from the waterfront here, and I'll show you right there, Lower Manhattan waterfront. Alright, in front of that green building is where we left at to come over here. Next to it with the orange awnings, that's the where the Staten Island Ferry docks. Over there is the Brooklyn Bridge and the Brooklyn waterfront, Brooklyn skyline. Over there we have the Lower Manhattan skyline. There is a Freedom Tower at the World Financial Center, at the World Trade Center, sorry. Lower Manhattan right there. If we pan over, there is Jersey City and Hoboken right over there. That's Hoboken here, right here. A little further up is Jersey City. We're right here on the water. We're right outside Castle Williams. All right, so let's pan back here, and we'll see Castle Williams, the side of it, or the side that's facing the water. Castle Williams changing with the times, and again, I say it's managed by the National Park Service. the show of force. Here is Castle Clinton. Castle Williams, sorry. Castle Clinton is over in Battery Park. When it was completed in 1811, Castle Williams was the most visible example of force in New York Harbor, together with two other fortifications on Governor's Island. Fort J is on the other side, and South Battery, which is in my Battery Park video. It helped defend New York City against naval attack. Over time, the forts played less of a role in protecting the harbor and the city, and army force evolved around them. By the 1870s, Governor's Island became a major U.S. Army headquarters, and by 1930, it was home to over 3,000 soldiers, officers, and their families. So that's the layout, that's the complex. Fort J, it's Castle Williams, that's Fort J, and that's the South Battery, which is in Battery Park. All right, so Group F Fort. Before airplanes and missiles, the United States defended itself with fortifications along its coastal harbors. In this harbor, a system of forts stood ready to protect New York. Nearly a dozen were built before the War of 1812. Let's check it out here. Alright, so we're at Castle Williams. At this point, we'll see the South Battery is over in Battery Park. You see that green expanse right there. If you look below the World Trade Center, it's right out there, and that was Castle Clinton, which was originally called the South Battery. All right, so let's walk along the water and let's see what else we can see along here. So right over there is we're looking at parts of New Jersey. All right, New Jersey in the distance, the Liberty Science Center. You might be able to see the top of it right over there. Look, right from the water tower. If you look to the right, Liberty Science Center is right over there. And we have another way to see the Statue of Liberty, one of the most iconic sights of New York. The lady with the lamp right there. One day we're gonna do a trip over there. We'll take the ferry over to the Statue of Liberty, and I'll show you the Statue of Liberty up close. But over there is a Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty was a gift given to the people of the United States by the people of France. Right? We're still at the back of Castle Williams, right? But now we're looking at from Castle Williams, and from this road we're looking out towards the water. Governor's Island is an island in the Hudson River. So all that you see out there is part of the river. It's not part of the ocean. All right, it's part of the river. This is part of the Hudson River. Right? It's right there, the confluence of the Hudson and the East River. And keep in mind, the East River is just an arm of the Hudson River that went around on the east side of Manhattan Island. All right, so Manhattan Island is in the Hudson River. All right, and the east side of Manhattan, that part of the river is called the East River, but it's just another arm of the Hudson River. And again, there's a Statue of Liberty in the distance. Over there, Hoboken. And all right, let's continue. I want to do a nice little walk around here today and see what we can see, show you what there is to see over here. Sea Biscuit. See here, there's benches and tables are here. You can sit out here. Might be a restaurant there. Okay, let's continue. You'll find lots of buildings, lots of quarters, residential quarters out here. Because at one time, remember, this was home to the Navy. So you had a lot of Navy personnel living on the island. All right, so let's continue. There are a number of tents out here. Number of tents, hammocks in front of them. I'll ask if I see someone what these are all about. So there are lots of there are maintenance workers moving through. So let's pan back over here, over the river, back towards the lady with the lamp out there. Are these rentals? Yeah. Ah, okay. Rental for the weekends or anytime? Anytime. Wow. Okay. April through October. Thank you. You bring everything you need, or there are shops there? There are concessionaries here where you buy stuff, or you have to bring everything you need? Okay, you buy stuff here? Okay, thank you. So these are all rentals. And they're open April through September. And come camp out in a tent on Governor's Island. All right? Share the experience so you can be here, live out here, and enjoy the seclusion like you're in a camp, and enjoy Governor's Island. There are lots of hammocks set up in here, so you can chill on the hammock here. Collective retreats. So again, these are all rentals, and you can rent from April through September. I'm assuming sometime after the Labor Day weekend, it might be shut down, because that's when everybody goes back to school, goes back to work, and so forth. It's the official end of summer. All right, and there we look at Hoboken coming up on the side here. A different look. The clock is out there. You may not see it from this angle, but the famous Colgate clock is over there. Statue of Liberty. The lady with the lamp right there. Over here there are more tents, and this is also a tent, but somewhat of a of a more permanent structure right here. So check it out. keep in mind you can take your pets out here, all right? Pets are allowed on the island. Of course, you'll have to have your pet on the leash, like in every place else you go. So, pets are allowed. Also, bikes are allowed. Your bicycles, come out here on your bicycle. Ride around the island. Should take you about a good hour to walk around the island. So again, there are the tents. You can come camping, and information would be available on the Governor's Island site, so you can come out here camping. So there are playgrounds out here, there is golfing out here, golf course, you can come do some golfing. I know lots of people come out here. Generally on the weekend, lots of people come out here. There are fairs out here, there are concerts out here, there are things to do. It's open to the public. Come out and enjoy. Over there, I think that may be Bayonne. See all the cranes and so forth over there. I think that may be Bayonne over there, and that's in New Jersey. We see New Jersey on that side over there. Let's see what's up here. There are city bikes out here, so I guess you can rent a bike to take you around here. Let's see what's that rock formation out here. Oh, okay. Let's go through here, see what's that rock formation. Oh, okay. Takes us to the road out here. And let's go back this way. I guess you're not an elevated view out here. Okay, there's a baseball diamond right there. Okay. Let's go a little bit higher and see what's beyond here. Okay, and takes us to higher points. Let's go to the highest here, I think. Oh, there's the dove flying out there. Let's go to this point up here. Oh, there must be a series of circular streets that takes you all around here. So there's yet a higher point here. Let's do this. And here we are. High point of Governor's Island. said high point, but let me go to the highest point. Alright, and right now I'm at the highest point. So at the highest point, let's look back. That's where we came from, over there. Right over there. That's where we came from. Alright, there is the New York City skyline. There is the New Jersey, Jersey City, Hoboken skyline. And there is New Jersey over there. There is Staten Island over there. There's the Verrazano Bridge in the distance. And that's Brooklyn on the other side. Alright, that's Brooklyn. And the Brooklyn skyline over there. Going back till you can see the cables of the Brooklyn Bridge out in the distance. Alright, so that's where we are. Now again, look at this. This is an island in the middle of the Hudson River. Alright, on this side over there is the Hudson River. I mean, it's the East River. It's an arm of the Hudson, but it's known as the East River. Right over there. On this side here is the main arm. That's the main arm of the Hudson River. There's a Staten Island ferry sailing up the Hudson River. Oh, it's a huge river. The river is named the Hudson River after Henry Hudson. Alright, Henry Hudson explored the Hudson River on his ship called the Half Moon. Yeah, I think it was called the Half Moon. Alright, Henry Hudson sailed up the Hudson River. The Hudson River is a very long river. Alright, so it lives from, I guess by our standards, it's a very long river. And it empties out into the Atlantic Ocean by under the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. Remember, the Verrazano Bridge was named after Giuseppe Verrazano. Okay. Guys, it's beautiful out here. Alright, so I'm gonna go back down through the rocks, not on the street, because I want to continue from where I left the main street. Alright, so let's do this. Let's see where this takes us. Okay. And here we are, overlooking this road here. As you could explore one of the main, right on the Hudson River, you can explore across. Alright, the people on their bikes moving across. Alright, let's continue, let's get out of here. Hello Manhattan, are very busy. There's a barge out there. You'll see lots of ferries on the waterway. You'll see lots of barges. The barges carry goods, carry vehicles, carry garbage, carry lots of other things. All right, you'll see a lot of those barges around Lower Manhattan. Now, it wouldn't be complete walking around this island and showing you this island without giving you a little more of the history of the islands, right? So this island was occupied by the Lenape Indians. The island was called Paganock, okay, which means nut island. Now in The Dutch arrived in New York 1624, circa 1624. The Dutch West India Company. All right, and they traded with the people, with the Lenape Indians. All right. There are certain points in the history. In June 1637, Walter van Twiller, the Director General of the Dutch West India Company, reportedly purchased the island from the Lenape for 2 axe heads. So there are lots of stories about islands being sold. Don't believe that. The islands were not sold because in the history of the people who occupied the islands, and when I say the islands, including Manhattan, they believe that they were managers of the islands, managers of the resources. They didn't own the land, so they had no concept of selling the land. So you'll see a lot of history where they talk about buying the land from the natives. The lands were not purchased because the natives did not believe they could own the land. They believed they managed the land. Okay, so the concept of land ownership was not as we know it today. Okay? So in 1664, the English captured New York. All right, New York up to that point was called New Amsterdam. New Amsterdam by the Dutch, sorry. And the Dutch came from Holland, right? So you think of Amsterdam, Holland. So New York was called New Amsterdam. Later, when it was captured by the British, it was renamed New York. Some say after the Duke of York. So that's the story of the naming convention, so to speak, but the story of the naming of New York. If I go this way, can I continue around? Thank you. All right, so this is closed up here. So before we go through there, just a final look. There is a Statue of Liberty. The lady with the lamp, you can see the lamp out there. You can see the ferry in front of the statue, right there. Okay, on Liberty Island. Right. Let's pan over to Bayonne, over there, over to Staten Island, right over there. All right, the Verrazano Bridge. In that distance over there is the Verrazano Bridge. The Verrazano Bridge links Staten Island and Brooklyn. Right, and then on the other side I'll show you the Brooklyn waterfront. So let's continue. All right. So when the British took over New York, of course this island fell into the hands of the British, and the British call it Nutter Island. So Nutter Island, like nuts. Excuse my pronunciation of that one, but the British call it Nutter Island. So that was Governor's Island. In 1699, the British renamed it Governor's Island, reserved for the accommodation of His Majesty's Governor. All right, so it was named Governor's Island and reserved for the accommodation of the governor, the British appointed governor of New York. Okay. All right, so there's a lot of things that happen here, all right? For the longest while, Governor's Island served as a base for the armed forces. All right, basically the last, in its last use as a military base, it was the Navy personnel who lived on Governor's Island. But let's go back. All right, so after 1776, after the American Revolution, remember the American Revolution was from 1776 to 1783 or thereabouts, when the British forces were defeated. They moved to Canada. They retreated to Canada, and this all became part of the United States. So again, the war ended in 1783. At the end of the war, the British troops withdrew from the city, and that was on November 25 in 1783. All right, 1794 to 1800s, New York inherited all the lands, all the islands. There was the construction of Fort J and other momentous things that happened on the Governor's Island. So between 1806 and 1812, the U.S. Army reconstructed Fort J. Fort J I'm going to show you in just a little bit. And they named it Fort Columbus in 1904. Of course, that name was later changed. All right, so that's a little more of what's happening around Governor's Island, a little more of that history. All right, over here you can have your picnic, you can have your barbecue. I'm assuming the barbecue are by permits only. Grills and picnic tables are available by reservation, so you have to reserve. Yeah, again, over there is the Verrazano Bridge. The Verrazano Bridge linking Staten Island and Brooklyn. And we have the Brooklyn waterfront. Alright, so over there we're looking at around Dyker Heights, around Dyker Heights, Brooklyn. So there is more for Governor's Island, guys. So Governor's Island continued to serve as a military base. All right, the Governor's Island's main purpose was a military base. right, so during the Civil War, remember the Civil War lasted from 1861 to 1865. It was a recruiting station and barracks. A recruiting station and barracks for newly recruited soldiers. Okay, so it also served in as a prison for Confederate soldiers. There was about 1,000 Confederate soldiers on Governor's Island. So it is a nice walk. Some parts of it are very scenic, some parts not so scenic, but it gives you a lot. It shows you what's around here. All right, and again, over there is the Brooklyn waterfront. All right, so parts of Brooklyn over there. So in 1912, the islands changed greatly, right? The Army Corps of Engineers supervised the deposit of about 5 million cubic yards of fill on the south side of the island to add 103 acres to the island. So they increased the size of the island back in 1912. In 1917, the 22nd Infantry Regiment was stationed on Governor's Island. It sails all German-owned cruise ships and ship terminals in the Hudson River in Manhattan and Hoboken. Within weeks, the ships would be used to transport American soldiers to fight in the World War. Okay, so again, Governor's Island has mostly served in a military capacity as quarters for soldiers. All right, so we're walking around. There is Brooklyn. This is on this side of Governor's Island. That's the high point that I was just a moment ago, right over there. And we're on the other side of the island. No fishing in this area. All right. Again, this is a nice walk on the island. You can walk, there are benches you can sit, there's the grass. You can bring your blanket, spread it out, and chill out on the island. You can bike on the island, you can rent bikes. There is the ubiquitous city bike. So you'll see the city bike signs and you'll see the city bike space. You can rent your bikes and bike around Governor's Island. And over there is Brooklyn. Good old Brooklyn. That might be IKEA over there. There's an IKEA in Brooklyn. St. Michael Dock, to honor the soldiers of the 1st United States Army who participated in World War I offensive against the the St. Mihiel salient, 12 to 16 September 1918. This dock is dedicated with the name of that great battle. It's now St. Michael, St. Mihiel. Okay. Or St. Mihiel. I hope I have the name correct. So again, over there, it's the Brooklyn docks. There is one container ship right there. It's gonna offload over there. All right, the New York City, the Brooklyn waterfront. All right, there's the NYC Ferry. The NYC Ferry also comes into Staten Island, so that's a point you can come in from Brooklyn to the NYC. Let me restate that the NYC Ferry comes in from Brooklyn into Governor's Island. So there's a docks right over there where you can do that. And that is IKEA over there. See a lot of cars in the parking lot. People go do their shopping at IKEA Brooklyn. It's right over there. Oh man, it's a beautiful day. The weather is perfect for walking around. It's not too hot. Just a wonderful day. And again, this is a walk around Governor's Island. Over the trees to the top of those buildings on the Manhattan skyline. That was a nice walk. All right, so in the 1960s, the U.S. Army continued to expand its presence on the island, right? Okay. In November 1964, in response to change in military technology and budget constraints, the U.S. Department of Defense announced that they were closing Governor's Island and the Brooklyn Navy Yard. But by 1966, the Coast Guard came in. The United States the island was transferred to the Coast Guard in 1966. So the island became the Coast Guard largest installation with a self-contained residential community of about 3,000 people. Right, and a commuting population of additional 1,500 people. Okay, so it's been an important military installation in one form or another over the years. Right. Now, a very important thing in 1986. There was the lighting of the newly refurbished Statue of Liberty by President Ronald Reagan. In 1988, President Reagan hosted a final meeting with Mikhail Gorbachev on Governor's Island. And in 1993, the United Nations sponsored talks on the island to help restore democratic rule to Haiti. All right, we see what's going on there now, so we know that didn't last. But talks were held here by the United Nations to restore democratic rule to Haiti. All right, so with all the changing scene, the changing world, the changing geopolitical nature of the world, they finally decided, after a while, that the Navy did not need Governor's Island anymore. So very soon the island ceased to be a naval installation. All right, so again, there are different points of coming in here. You can come in through Manhattan, as I came, or you can come in through Brooklyn. And if you come in through Brooklyn, you'll come in right over here. And you'll come in on NYC Ferry, coming over from Brooklyn. Over here is the city bikes, so you can get one to tour the island. All right, again, you'll find city bikes all over New York City. We look back there at the ferry that just came over from Brooklyn, heading back to Brooklyn also. We have the container ship right here. Right there is a container ship, and there is the, again, is the Brooklyn. There again is the Brooklyn ocean front, the Brooklyn riverfront, sorry. Again, I said the waterway is busy, and it's a vital route here in New York. So you can always get around New York here. It is a nice sunny day. Temperature is expected to hit the 80s, the lower 80s today. Remember, we measured temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit in New York. So we're walking around Governor's Island. In 1995, the Navy decided to close its structure here on Governor's Island. In 1996, the Navy was gone from Staten Island. Why am I saying Staten Island? From Governor's Island. So in 1995, the Navy decided, as part of its cost-cutting measures, to depart Governor's Island. That decision was made in 1995, and in 1996 the Navy had relocated all its personnel away from Governor's Island. In 2001, President Bill Clinton, he designated 22 acres of Governor's Island, including Fort Jay and Castle Williams, as the Governor's Island National Monument, to be owned and managed by the National Park Service. Alright, and look how beautiful the Lower Brooklyn is opening up here. Let's see how close we are to Brooklyn. Brooklyn is right there. Lower Brooklyn right over there. Right over there. And you can see the cables of the Brooklyn Bridge right there. Alright, in 2003, the rest of Governor's Island was sold to New York City. So prior to that, New York City did not own a Governor's Island. Prior to 2003, Governor's Island was not owned by New York City. So to New York City and the state for nominal cost. They said it was for about $1. Alright? They basically handed it over to New York. So again, you can come out to Governor's Island. There is a lot to see, right? It's historical. It's historical. Come out and enjoy it. See Brooklyn from over here. See, if you're looking at Brooklyn, right there is the right over there. You can see vehicles moving. That's the BQE. Brooklyn Queens Expressway. All right, that's a continuation of it there. You can see the unique buildings in Lower Brooklyn. The Lower Brooklyn skyline is a very distinct skyline. Remember, Brooklyn is always proud of being almost a standalone part of New York City. And remember, at the time of the incorporation of the boroughs into New York City, Brooklyn was about the 4th or 5th largest city in the nation, right? So Brooklyn at that time could stand alone as a major self-supporting city. All right, so again, all over here there are barbecue pits. You can come out here, sit out here, have a picnic out here, come out with friends and enjoy yourself. It's a lot to see, a lot to do. See Brooklyn Bridge in the distance. See different parts of Brooklyn. I think there's the Brooklyn Navy Yard, the old Brooklyn Navy Yard out there. Enjoy Governor's Island. Again, over there is the Manhattan waterfront, Lower Manhattan, World Trade Center, World Freedom Tower, and the World Trade Center complex. So, made it around. We almost made it around the island. Where is Fort J?